Alright guys, welcome to video number 5. So check this out. Since we inherited this class state-based game, and of course that's the class we needed to inherit in order to build a state-based game, it is giving us an error message and it's like, dude, you inherited my class, but inside my class I actually have an abstract method that you need to implement in this class. So if you see it says, okay, this class must implement the method initStatesList. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So under our constructor, and let me just scroll down so you guys can see, it's public void init, oh crap, I was hoping that would pop up, states list. Now, that's the method in, remember, the parameter that they required was a game container object. So game container, and we'll name this GC, and it also needs to throws slick exception, which is, we'll go into that later on. You guys probably already know what an exception is. So let me go ahead and clarify things first before we start coding. We needed to include this method right here because it was one of the rules that they said if you inherit from my class, you need to have this method or else your program is not going to work. So why would they make us have this method? What exactly does it do? Well, let's go ahead and look at game container first, and let me explain to you guys what a game container is. A game container is pretty much the thing that's responsible for the main game loop, the frame rate. It manages the input system. It manages a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So that's what object we're going to be working with, and that's really what this method does. initStatesList is, of course, you give it a list of states because your game, before it can start building your game, it needs to know what kind of screens are you going to have in it, and it pretty much starts off building it. So that's what we need to do. We need to give a background of what kind of game we're going to make, and that's pretty much what this method is. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to pretty much initialize the list of states making up this game. In order to do that, this dot get state, you know what? I swear this is true. Whenever those things pop up, I can probably just not even look at them and type it faster, but sometimes I spend like 20 seconds just like, ooh, can I save like 5 seconds? If you don't know what I'm talking about, then don't even worry about it. But anyways, the first state is of course menu, and we want to initialize this, so init. And how do we do that? It takes 2 arguments. The first one is the game container, which is GC, and argument 2, which says argument 1, is this, which pretty much means this object or this class. So that's what we're going to do for that state. Basically, we're saying, okay, we're telling Java that our game is going to have 2 states. One is the menu state, which is, the home page, I guess, kind of a game. And the second one is the play screen. So now, with that being said, we now initialized 2 different states successfully. And if you still don't understand what the game container is, this is one of those things, game development, where it's kind of hard to explain everything all up front. So once we start working more in depth with it, in like 10 tutorials, you're going to know exactly what it does. So guys, if you don't know exactly what I'm doing right now, then just, power through it. It's going to make sense later on. So basically, like I said, we initialize 2 states or 2 screens right now. The next thing we need to do is say, okay, our game is building right now, so it says, okay, I built the menu screen and I built the play screen, but whenever the user first opens the game, do you want me to take them to the menu or the play screen? How am I supposed to know? I'm just a dumb computer. But we'll say, okay, dumb computer, we'll tell you that as well. This dot enter state, this method is gonna take a state as, let me just go ahead and copy this. Is going to take a state as a parameter, the ID of a state, which is menu, and enter state is basically asking you, what screen do you first want me to show the user? Well, we want you to show them the main menu, so that's why we put enter state menu. So with that being said, now our init states list is complete. Again, we needed this method because, well, that's just the slick 2D documentation, how they set up this environment. And some things that were required. Anytime you initialize a state or build a screen, you need to initialize it like this or here. And in order to tell Slick 2D which screen you want the user to start out on, you give it this line, enter state, with the state ID as the parameter. So in the next tutorial, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working with the main method right here. And what this method is going to do is, you know what, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's going to be awesome. So thank you guys for watching, and yep, that's what you have to look forward to next.